And we're going to go over everything that happened in this incredible, historic press conference that Tulsi Gabbard just had. And, of course, we'll also be taking your calls. And we got a lot to cover. So just stand by. Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Now, I'm going to start my other stream here in a moment. My other stream is where you will hear the audio and see the videos. Here, you'll just see me and hear the callers. But on my other stream that I'm going to start in just a moment, you'll be able to hear the audio and see the videos and everything else that I share. Okay, and if you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, Tulsi Gabbard had what very well may be the most historic press conference in the history of the White House briefing. We've never seen anything like this. She released a whole bunch of new documents today about the Obama coup against President Trump's first term, which actually is ongoing even still today, as we'll discover when I go through all this. I'm going to break the whole thing down. I'm going to share with you everything that Tulsi Gabbard said. We'll go over some of the Q&A as well, and your calls are welcome. If you are watching live, the number is pinned in the live chat. It's a toll-free number no matter where you are watching from, and that's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now, before I go through Tulsi Gabbard breaking everything down of the Obama coup crimes, I just want to play this. This is CNN, which, by the way, CNN cut away from this press conference. You know, this is completely insane to me. All these people in that White House press briefing room think they're journalists. They all have these fantasies of being Woodward and Bernstein. They have the biggest story of their lives right there in front of them. It's the biggest political scandal in the history of the United States government. It's the biggest presidential scandal in the history of the American presidency. And they're all sitting there on their hands like they can hardly stay awake. They're not even interested. CNN cut away. CNN did not even carry it. Now, after it was over, I'm going to start at the end here. CNN gives a little analysis of it. Listen to this nonsense. It's 8 years after the fact. Well, anything that was 8 years ago, when you find out about it, is no longer relevant? How many killers have been brought to justice on DNA evidence from crimes they committed 50 years ago, right? I just saw a serial killer just get arrested the other day at his house from some 1970s killing, but now 8 years ago? And they're calling, CNN and all the rest are calling for all this Epstein stuff. That was longer than 8 years ago. Unreal. Look at the source. What the heck is he talking about? Well, look at the source. You know, not only, let's put in perspective what happened here and who Tulsi Gabbard is. Other than a very tall woman. I mean, she made Carolyn Leavitt look like a little person at that press conference today. She's a big person. Not only was Tulsi Gabbard a lifelong Democrat until she was red-pilled, a lot of Democrats like Bobby Kennedy got red-pilled when the Never-Trumpers shot President Trump in Butler, all right? Not only was she a lifelong Democrat and a Democrat member of the United States House of Representatives from a very liberal state, Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard, now this sounds nuts to put when you think about it, right? Because, consider the source, like she's a bad person. She's responsible for Joe Biden winning the nomination in his first go-around and becoming president. Do you know that? Do you remember what happened? I'm going to tell you real quick, then we'll get to all this. Joe Biden had the first presidential primary debate. Kamala Harris came in there and cleaned his clock, mainly because he's a senile old man. Remember that? That was when she said, "I was that girl," and she was talking about his racist past. She won that. Kamala Harris, yeah, you may have seen her on Twitter today, X, drunk out of her mind, backstage at some show. Did you see that? But in that first Democrat debate, Kamala Harris, there were a lot of Democrats running. She won that debate, and she humiliated Biden. They brought Tulsi Gabbard in. The Democrats started a whole fake presidential campaign for Tulsi Gabbard, donated enough money so she'd qualify for the second debate. She came in and destroyed Kamala Harris and ran her out of the race to clear the way for Biden. Do you remember that? But then she got red-pilled. She saw what they were up to, and then they shot the president in Butler. Now, all of a sudden, she's a lifelong disgrace to these people. They forget her history. Anyway, let me play this from CNN, then we'll get to Tulsi. I'll start it over. Look at the source, jerk. Oh, it was 8 years ago. We shouldn't spend time on it. There was a coup, an illegal coup. Well, all coups are illegal, but there was a coup in this country led by a president of the United States. Oh, nothing to see here. Move along. CNN is deep state. We all know this. So let me pull this up. This is Tulsi Gabbard. She loves to wear white, doesn't she? And she released all these new documents this morning. And she came out here. I'm glad she did this. I was not expecting her to be at the press briefing. She came out at the press briefing and she went over everything. So let's go through it. And then in a little bit, we'll take calls and I'll play some of the interaction with the lowlifes and the media with her. Okay, so this is Tulsi today, White House press briefing, detailing what came out in the new release. If you're on hold, hang in there. Now, this is amazing. So Putin had blackmail material on Hillary Clinton and also embarrassing material he didn't use. He assumed she was going to win. Wow. So she was using State Department money to pay people that worked for the federal government to go to her events, to her speeches. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. I mean, this is, so she's a, so what this said, this is all the information that Putin had. Hillary Clinton's a junkie. She's like Hunter. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is what we've been talking about since Friday night. So President Obama, he was president. President Trump was elected. He was the president-elect. But they got a couple months till he comes into office. So Obama had all the intelligence agencies do their own investigation into Russian collusion. Every single intelligence agency concluded that not only did Russia, this is what she just said, not only did Russia not do anything, they didn't have the ability to do it even if they wanted to. Every intelligence, and these are the Obama intelligence agencies while he was president. Mm-hmm. Okay, now see, now this is, I don't know why Obama and these people kept records of all their criminal activities of the coup, but they did. So that's what she's going through. Now remember, these are not her opinions. This is not an investigation she did. These are the documents from the Obama regime that are around. So what Tulsi gave us some details here. So they had this handful, literally a handful of people from the intelligence agency, none of their assistants, none of their aides, no departments from their agencies. They would write the intelligence briefing for their agency, but they had one author. And by the way, they weren't doing any investigating, they were writing a work of fiction that each intelligence agency would write their own copy of from the original author. This is the fake briefing on Russian interference that Obama ordered in that Oval Office meeting with Brennan, Comey, Clapper, Biden, and the rest. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Okay, now the Steele dossier, for those that don't know, the Steele dossier is that fake Russian dossier, sometimes called the PP dossier. And just to tell people, it's so absurd. And they based their entire fictional report that they just sat there and made up together, like 6 people, one author, 5 others from different agencies, so they all had the same story, this fake intelligence report, all based on the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier, this is what it said. This is the one commissioned by Hillary Clinton from Christopher Steele. The Steele dossier said that when President Trump was in Moscow he wasn't president yet, but when Donald Trump was in Moscow for the Miss Universe pageant, he hated Obama so much, he rented the hotel room that Obama slept in Moscow, hired 2 Russian prostitutes to get naked and urinate on the bed while he pleasured himself, and that Putin had audio and video of this as blackmail material. That's what the Steele dossier said, okay? That absurdity. And that's what they based this, that was their outline for this fake intelligence briefing that they were crafting. Mm. That's right. Yep. Mm. Wow. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Mm. Wow. I mean, that was just amazing. She detailed everything, and the press, they don't even want to talk about it. They just want to move on. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. If you would like to call in, please do. The number is pinned in the live chat. It's toll free no matter where you're watching. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We got some good news. Mike Lindell, remember, he just had this lawsuit judgment against him. He just won his appeal. It was a $5 million judgment. Mike Lindell has just won his appeal, so he no longer owes that $5 million, which is incredibly good news. And what better way to celebrate that than use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and load up on great MyPillow products. You know, you can use my promo code Kane site-wide and save up to 66% off some of the most popular MyPillow products. Just use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at MyPillow.com. There's an incredible deal going on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper right now. There's a huge savings on this. My wife and I, we've been sleeping on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper for years. It is so amazing. It turns your entire mattress into one big MyPillow. Isn't that something? It comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. It's 3-layered. It fits any mattress size because it comes in every mattress size. Twin, queen, king, every size beneath that, every size in between, split king, California king, the RV queens, even that size that truck drivers have in their sleeper cab, in their semis. It'll change your life. If you have a mattress that's lopsided, lumpy, bumpy, or just sucks, get your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Don't go out and buy a new mattress. You don't need it. Also, the cover, which is completely washable and dryable, is made of the temperature regulating material that the MyPillow 2.0 is made from. And what that means is during these hot summer months, it keeps you cool and comfortable all night long. It's like having an air conditioning in your bed in these hot summer months. In the wintertime, it keeps you warm and toasty. So go to MyPillow.com, use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and order your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, let's take some of these calls. And I'm going to play the Q&A between Tulsi and these lowlives in the fake news media as well, but we'll take a call or two first. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Carl. I'm calling from Pendleton, Oregon.
All right, what's up, Carl in Oregon?
Well, I just can't wrap my head around how you could still be supporting Donald Trump.
What's your difficulty in understanding that?
Hey, I supported him in the beginning. I thought, hey, this guy's outside of the establishment.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going to get rid of all these terrible people who are abusing kids.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's come out that
this is no, nothing's come out. See, I told you. Now on Saturday, excuse me, on Saturday morning, because this Tulsi Gabbard first drop of information came out on Friday. Excuse me, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the audience. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to the audience, okay? And can you lay off the language? I mean, are you that classless? Yeah. I mean, come on. Saturday morning, I did a live stream right here on this channel, and I said, watch. I said, I'm going to make a prediction. I said, because all these are documents that came out that are Obama administration documents proving his coup. I said, watch. All the Democrats, they can't refute these because they're Obama documents. So what their response is going to be is Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. That's going to be the response every time. Coward response. We're not talking about Epstein. We're talking about the Obama coup.
So why are we talking about that?
Because
what triggered that now? Why didn't he release it in his first term?
Oh, I tell you, they got the talking points. I heard one of the reporters ask the same question to Tulsi Gabbard, and she answered that. She said in the first term, and President Trump's talked about this too. He was new to Washington. He didn't know who he could trust, who he couldn't. And because of this coup, there were a lot of disruptors even in his own administration. She said he had multiple directors of national intelligence who were blocking him at every turn. He didn't even know these documents existed. They were classified higher than top secret. He didn't even know they existed. Nobody knew. They were hidden.
Coincidentally, just came out as he was under this scrutiny.
No. Later on, he found out about them.
Wasn't a coincidence? So
no.
Why? If it's not.
See, you got it backwards. You got it backwards. You got it backwards with your dirty mouth and everything that you have. Okay. And what you don't understand is...
Hey, I stopped swearing when you asked me to, man.
Yeah, but you still did it. The Epstein story, that's the distraction.
How can you... You have it backwards, man. The Epstein story came out way before the Obama story came out.
And it's pretty much settled. He's been dead for years. He was out of circulation long before that. So his sicko ring of perversions has been shut down for a long time. This coup that started at the very end of Obama's term when Trump was president-elect has been ongoing. In fact, this coup led to him getting shot in Butler. It's an ongoing thing, and it's still going on today. In fact, the coup conspirators are the ones that dropped this Epstein story.
Of 15 years, he was best friends with this.
He wasn't best friends. See, we're not. First off, I'm not talking about none of that. I am not talking about Epstein. They were not best friends. Okay. See, everything's always going to go to Epstein. It's not going to happen. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Jack from Sarasota. I have 2 questions for you, and I have information to back those questions.
I'm not promising to answer them. I mean, I've brought up probably what is, I think, the biggest political and presidential scandal in the history of the United States, and you guys on the left want to talk about anything but.
I definitely won't curse, and I'll be more appropriate.
Well, we're not going to change the topic. I've only just begun on this subject.
It's actually on topic. When do you think Tulsi Gabbard got turned by the Russians, or do you think she was already pro-Russia?
That's a stupid question and not even worth my response. See, they want to talk about everything but Epstein, Russia. He's even doing Russia, Russia, Russia still. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Jeremy Kurtz here. I'm from Texas.
All right, Jeremy in Texas.
What's up, brother?
Not much. What's going on? You called me. What's on your mind?
I just want to say I love your content. Been watching you for a while.
Thank you.
Good stuff, man.
Thank you. All right, that's it? All right, appreciate the call.
Man.
Thanks so much. Okay, so after that big drop of detail on the Obama coup, the forging, and not only did the document show they forged this intelligence briefing about Russia, they had one author and had all the different agencies copy the same thing from this one author. This is not, I mean, it's absolutely insane. She goes to the press. Here we go. Listen to this. Yes, they are. Yeah, which is ongoing. It is ongoing. It has never stopped. Part of that coup is the press not being interested in the story. Part of the coup is this Epstein story that they brought up all of a sudden, out of the blue. Wow. So and again, these are all documented. So not only did she have some very dangerous mood disorder, she's a junkie on some heavy tranquilizers. Yeah, that's just who you want to be the president of the United States. That's just who you want to have access to the button. So at the beginning, before Tulsi came out, Caroline Leavitt, who's probably the most brilliant 27-year-old, is she still 27? She turned 28 yet? She's the sharpest 27, 28-year-old in the country today. She detailed what was in this report. That's right. And this graphic, which by the way, I did post this graphic, and I know it's all over the internet. It's on my X, Brian Craig Show. I mean, this is like, it's a very good graphic. This is what the FBI used to do with the mobsters. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Russia hoax was a blatant lie, all ginned up by Democrat political operatives that were signed off on by then-President Obama and leaked to the news media to launch a years-long witch hunt against President Trump and his first administration. Allies of the president, including his own son, Donald Trump Jr., were disgustingly smeared as Russian assets.
That's right.
Some even had their lives destroyed because of this vicious lie. The president's first 2 years in office had this fake distraction hanging over it, and endless resources, time, and political capital were spent having to debunk these lies from the highest levels of our government. Now, nearly 10 years later, thanks to the declassification of documents by Director Gabbard, the truth has finally come to light. And this truth vindicates President Trump, his family, and his many allies and associates who were smeared with defamatory lies. President Trump was right from the beginning about all of this, and we are grateful that justice will be served. Now, we have even more damning evidence indicating those who tried to sabotage the elected president and did grave material harm to our republic. Thanks to additional important work done by CIA Director Ratcliffe and Committee Chairman Richard Crawford over the past few months, a newly declassified 2020 report prepared by the House firm Complexity on Intelligence, which DNI Director Gabbard has declassified, found that the intel community did not have any direct information that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help elect President Trump in 2018. And in fact, Russia was actively preparing for a Hillary Clinton victory. But at the unusual direction of Barack Obama at the time, the intel community published plausible intelligence suggesting otherwise. Why? Sabotage the incoming president. This is truly one of the greatest political scandals in America.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Reporters like legacy outlets, some of which are sitting in this room today, like the New York Times and the Washington Post,
And CNN.
were ridiculously awarded Pulitzer Prizes for their presentation of this hoax. Well past time for those awards to be stripped for the journalistic execution. It is not journalism to propagate political disinformation, service of the Democrat Party, and those in the intelligence community who hand over out of context and fake intelligence to push a false political narrative.
Okay, so that was Carolyn Levitt today. Okay, so, this one talking point, one of the callers brought it up, and I saw one of the reporters in the press briefing room said this, and a guy called me on the live stream this morning with the same talking point. Why didn't Trump do anything about this in the first term, right? Why didn't he release these documents? These documents, as I said, were classified at a level higher than top secret. He didn't know about the documents. He didn't become president, and then all of a sudden, oh, here's the coup documents. They were hidden. He found out about them a couple of years into his term. And he talked to the press, and he talked about it. Obama, Comey, Brennan, we caught him. You may have seen the video of that. And then just a couple months later, we were in our lockdown shutdown period, and it put a stop to that. When they broke into Mar-a-Lago, remember, they brought a safecracker with them to break into the president's personal safe. They tossed Barron's room, Melania's closet, and underwear drawer, the president's desk. They broke into a safe. They thought it wasn't about classified documents. They thought that President Trump had a binder of these coup documents of Obama and a binder in his safe. In fact, not long after the Mar-a-Lago break-in, that story broke. Remember that? I talked about that on the program. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll get to the call shortly. The toll-free number to call in is pinned in the live chat. So if you're watching live, you can call me live. The number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Jupiter Choke Thomas and annuities. Annuities are amazing. With annuities, your money's safe. The stock market could crash. You're not going to lose a penny. And you're guaranteed income for the rest of your life. It's a pretty good deal. There's a lot of investment things out there that people have. 401ks, IRAs, CDs. Maybe you've got some brokerage account. Do any of them guarantee you an income stream for the rest of your life? Do any of them guarantee you're not going to lose money and you're going to have a revenue stream? No, they don't do that, do they? Only annuities do. Joe Thomas, I asked him about this a couple weeks ago when he was in studio with me. I said, hey, when you have someone that comes to you who's a high net worth person, who's a wealthy person, and someone who's a middle class person, when it comes to annuities, what are the different reasons that they have to want to have an annuity? He said it's the same. A revenue stream, income. That's right. No matter what your financial situation is, anyone can use, especially in retirement, another income stream. And that's what you're going to get with annuities. I'm going to give you Joe Thomas's number in just a moment. He's offering free phone consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located in the United States. And after that free phone consultation, he's going to put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation, your goals, your needs. All right? Totally no charge phone consultation, and that is a custom proposal, not some cookie cutter proposal. Make sure you ask him about the 10% bonus on your money day one. There's an annuity where you can earn 10% before you walk out of Joe Thomas's office, before you get off the phone with him. You already made 10%. Think about that. That's amazing, isn't it? I know, it's absolutely amazing. If you invested in the stock market and everything went perfect, you might make 10% in a year. Might. But here you can make 10% before you walk out of the office. Give him a call. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's right, 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com, and you'll find the number right there, jupiterjoe.com. All right, let's go back to some of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Ivan from the Bronx.
Hey, what's up, Ivan?
At the end of the day, it comes down to Pam Bondi. You know, she needs to go ahead and hurry up and put charges on Obama, Comey, and Brennan. You know, this stuff takes time, you know, and it seems like it's going to take more than 3 years. You know, thank God that the Democrat Party is shambles, and it looks very good for Vance to win the presidency. So it might overlap. This investigation might overlap.
We got a bit of a bad connection there on the cell. Well, you know, Pam Bondi, she got the first round. This is all planned and timed out. They've been working on this for months, right? The first round came Friday that she gave to Pam Bondi. She gave her another round today, and she will. I believe she will. And you notice President Trump didn't come out and do this. Is a very serious thing. And President Trump is doing this by the book. He didn't come out and do the press. He could have come out and done this press conference instead of Pam Bondi, or come out with her, and he didn't. And he has delegated this. And the reason he's been so supportive of Pam Bondi is because she has been working on this. And it's happened. Don't worry, it'll happen.
Yeah, Gabbard.
Listen, we got a very bad connection, so I'm going to end the call because you're cutting out. You got a bad cell connection, but don't worry, it'll all be fine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Sue from Aventura. How you doing?
All right, Sue.
I'm wondering, everybody I talk to is saying nothing's going to happen here. I need some good news.
What do you mean nothing's? What do they mean nothing's going to happen? It is happening now. I mean, this is what's happening.
I'm talking arrest. Nobody's going to. Everybody's saying they're going to get away with it.
Who says that? A bunch of people in Aventura that have no idea what's going on?
People, my parents, 90 years old, saying this has been going on for years.
Nothing like this has been going on. In fact, yesterday at the Oval Office press conference, President Trump addressed this very question. And he says, you know, my first term, he says, I left Hillary alone. I didn't think we should she was the wife of a president. I didn't think we should put her in jail. But things are different now. They shot me. They broke into my house. The people need to go to jail. Barack Obama committed treason. He's the ringleader. So we're in a new area now.
But how come don't you think they're going to take off to another country that doesn't extradite them? I mean...
What country is that? So Obama's going to go to where? With his Secret Service?
I don't know. I need handcuffs. I need to see something here.
Well, I can't make that happen today, but it's going to happen. All right, I appreciate the call. I mean, my goodness, guys, they just released the information today. They have to go over it and put together the charges. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian.
is Madison calling from California again. How are you?
All right, Madison, what's up?
Good. I just want everybody to know they should be really proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Because the hammer is going to come. Justice is coming. I believe that we probably are going to see real justice like we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you some reasons. This is not another 4-year election at all. We have to do this. There is no turning back because we don't have a country unless we stop this.
That's
These
right.
People from doing, okay? We don't have a constitution and we have no laws.
That's right.
And what do people think? That Trump's just in for 4 years and then he's going to go off and leave office and go play golf forever? No, these people have to be stopped because they will come after his family.
They're going to put
Okay,
him,
and-
if he doesn't take care of this, they're going to put him in prison. The only reason he's
Right.
not in prison is because he won. Mershon would have sent him to prison if Trump didn't win the election.
Exactly. And if everybody thought the last 4 years were bad, they will come after us.
Yeah,
And it will be worse.
that's
Okay?
right.
And I believe that they're going to go Obama. Then it's going to come into the election of 2020. Not the, that he did win.
Well,
And I
what
think it's
everything
gonna be
everything that is if you notice what they're doing, they're establishing a timeline, and it's going to go all the way up till today. It's going to go all the way up to Butler and beyond.
Right. So all the people listening, I believe, thinking you are going to see unbelievable things in the next 4 years, and we are going to see justice. I believe he is going to be arrested, and we are going to see a lot more coming. It's finally, we have arrived. This is the time. We have no more time. We have to do this in the next 4 years. And any libs out there, God, I hope you wake up. I really do hope you see what's happening. Okay? And they're going to have to get their therapist because it is coming.
That's right. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. Yeah, exactly. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bill Cochran.
Okay, I'm sure it is. You're on the air. What's your name? You notice how the liberals are just have dirty mouths and everything, just classless? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sorry, I got disconnected earlier. Ivan from the Bronx.
Okay, yeah, you had a bad connection. You sound fine now.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, so I'm very impatient with that because they did they got tapping Trump's phone at the tower.
Yeah, we know all that, but they just released the documents today that prove all this stuff. So I mean, what do you got to be a little patient. You sound like one of these kids that spends their days scrolling on TikTok that has a 3-second attention span. Come on. Tulsi released the documents this morning that the president declassified. She had a press conference in the middle of the same day, and you want everybody arrested and convicted by the afternoon.
The low-hanging fruit was Adam Schiff and Liz Taylor, and it doesn't seem like anything's happening on that.
No, in fact, Pam Bondi's personally on the Letitia James mortgage fraud case. She talked about that on an interview. Just did it. She just did it.
Yeah, that's another one.
All right, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. If you're on hold, stand by. So let me play a little bit more. This is Tulsi Gabbard and talking to the press today in this historic press conference. That's right. You know, it's amazing how the media believe that Barack Obama and his minions and his coup conspiracy are entitled to some type of immunity. It's because CNN and the mainstream media are part of the deep state. Why do you think these news reporters are so overpaid? Caitlin Collins at CNN, didn't she just buy like an island or a mansion on an island or something? They pay them so much, they've made deals with the devil to keep them under control and to do the dirty work of the deep state. Now watch this. So this historic press conference is coming. This is the most historic press conference, I believe, in the history of the White House press conference. It really is, laying all this evidence out. CNN, they have this huge story. They cut away. CNN actually cut away from it. Look at this. Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, see, the reason CNN cut away is they think that if it's not on their air, their audience won't know about it. That's just outrageous. It's disgusting. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Margaret from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Margaret.
Hi, I was just wondering if anyone remembered that Russia came and testified in Congress, and they were pretty mad about it, that they were involved. They tried to involve them in that.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, they came and testified. They were pretty mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
They sent some guys in,
Okay.
to Congress to.
I'll look into that. I don't remember that, but I'll look it up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, appreciate the call. Take care. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, stand by. Yeah, I mean, that's right. Okay, so we got some questions here, too, from this. Look at the media. They're so uninterested, aren't they? They're like bored. Yeah, I mean, this is something. Now, Caroline Levitt, she came up back to the podium to take on the press. She gets really pissed here. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, in what world is this not a massive story where they have breaking news with sirens coming in and interrupting regularly scheduled programming? But the media's attitude is going to, all right, let's not cover it, it'll go away. Well, the problem is we've got the new media, people like me and many others, and we're going to be all over this story. Newsmax is going to cover it, Fox is even covering it. So they can take their lowly rated audiences and not expose them to it, but the majority of the people are going to hear it. Now, let me play some more clips before we go back to the phones. This was really I wonder if Tulsi was surprised at the reaction of the press. Not that they were asking ridiculous and hostile questions, but that they seemed so disinterested in it. I bet she was a little surprised by that. Okay, now that's the one I played in the beginning. Okay, here we go. Back to it. Mm-hmm.
What is a historic scandal and negative action towards the American people and our democratic republic. The answer to that statement can very clearly be found throughout all of the documents that we have released. Again, showing that Russia has took action to try to show discord in the election, but showed no preference for or against any singular candidate.
Yeah, I mean, in what world is a coup not interesting? Everything that happened in Trump's first term, the 4 years between the two terms, was all born in that meeting where Obama brought them in and told them to write that fake intelligence briefing. That was the beginning of it. And that was the beginning, the lawfare, everything, all was born right there. And during all these years, during Trump's first term, during Biden's 4 years with the auto pen, Barack Obama was running a shadow government, undermining President Trump, trying to destroy his presidency and his life all along. And I'm telling you, even that Colonel Vindman incident, right, turning Trump into the inspector general over the Zelensky phone call, that was a part of this. The Mueller investigation was a part of this. All of it was a part of this. Now, I want to talk to you guys about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. It's hurricane season, rainy season here in Florida. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you have a leak in your roof, you want to get that taken care of. Tom Laporta covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. And he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need a simple repair, he'll do it. He'll do it. He can also handle a job with any type of structure, single-family home, an office building, commercial, as well as municipal, even does church roofs. He works with every type of material. And he's not just a roofer, he's also a general contractor. And under Florida law, he's allowed to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the repair or the replacement of your roof, which speeds things up a lot. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. He'll take good care of you. I had a call this morning on the air from a guy who got a whole new roof, and he was so excited and just so happy with the great service and the great work that Tom Laporta and his crew at Laporta Roofing gave him. 954-604-4602. Again, that's Tom Laporta's direct cell phone. You can call or text 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. If you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Anytime I'm live streaming from one of my studios, I'm always taking live calls like this. I'm live every morning from 6 until 9 a.m. Eastern on the radio, here on YouTube. And I also live stream my podcast here in the afternoons right here. And I'm always doing live streams all the time, day and night, as news breaks. So make sure that you follow and subscribe, and also like the video. That helps a lot too. And if you don't mind, share the program on all your social media. Okay, I'm not sure if I played this clip or not. Okay, yeah, that's one I just played. Okay, this is some of the interactions with the press. Yeah, and you know, this Russia has been, it still goes on, right, from people. Now, I wanted to share this article. I mean, look at what President Trump's been going through. This is an article from 2016 in the New York Post, okay? Look at this. Here's the headline. Tech billionaires plot with GOP leaders at exclusive island resort to stop Trump. See what Trump's been going through? You know, a lot of these are Republican establishment people. These Republican establishment people were working with the Obama coup conspirators. Look, listen to this. Billionaire, this is in the New York Post 9 years ago. Billionaires, top tech CEOs, and leading figures of the GOP establishment gathered at an island off the coast of Georgia this weekend for a conference where the main topic was how to stop Donald Trump. The business and party big strategy sessions came at the American Enterprises Institute's World Forum on Sea Island, the Huffington Post originally reported, citing sources familiar with the gathering. The founder of Google, Napster's creator, big Facebook investor, Tim Cook, Elon Musk attended as well. Oh my goodness. Also on hand was Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Karl Rove, Paul Ryan, Tom Cotton, Cory Gardner from Colorado, Tim Scott of South Carolina, Rob Portman, Ben Sasse. The House was, let's see, who else did they have? Congressman from Michigan, Kevin Brady. It goes on and on and on with people that were there. The billionaire GOP donor whose company owns a stake in Sea Island also attended, as did the New York Times publisher. A specter was haunting the... This is an article from 2016 that was in the New York Post. A specter was haunting the world foreman, the specter of Donald Trump. William Crystal from the Weekly Standard wrote in a report from the conference, borrowing the opening lines of the Communist Manifesto. Karl Rove presented a focus group findings that Trump's weakness was that voters have a very hard time envisioning him as president and as somebody their children should admire. That's what he got up and said. Trump, who was heading to the who was heading the Republican presidential race, can all but wrap up the GOP nomination by March 15th if he wins primaries in Florida, Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, and North Carolina. So he had not gotten the nomination. Do you see all along the permanent Washington class? These were top Republican establishment people, the Bush Republicans, just like Obama would do after Trump won. Both of them were always plotting to stop him. And the reasons are many, but it all boils down to they can't control him. They don't have anything on him. He's not part of their team. They can't bribe him. They can't blackmail him. They have nothing over him. He wasn't groomed for this job like all the other ones are their whole life. And there was a complete panic because they were all losing power. The fact that Donald Trump is back in a second and non-consecutive term after surviving that assassination, by the way, in Butler, it's nothing short of a miracle. And that's why I always say that he deserves our loyalty. Look at everything he's gone through. All these very powerful, insane but powerful people have been trying to stop him for a decade, and he beat them all. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Tom from upstate New York.
Hey, Tom, what's up?
Hey, how come the Durham report didn't name Obama the way seems to be in the news right now?
Well, these documents weren't known then. These documents,
oh, really? So
these
9 years later?
Yeah, these documents were classified higher than top secret. So they were
When are we going to see those documents?
Well, I'll tell you. They were classified higher than top secret and filed away and hidden. They weren't known. Now, so far as when are you going to see them?
Isn't that amazing?
It is. I know, of course.
Are you?
And now
you really fall for this?
You said, when are we going to see them? Tulsi Gabbard has made all the documents public. If you go to her X, she has links to all the documents on her X. She started putting them up on Friday with the first release. This release is up there right now from today.
Yeah, and none of them prove anything.
Well, first, a minute ago, you didn't know where they were, so you haven't read them. So how do you know they don't prove anything? All right, think about that. Oh, my goodness. Now, oh, my goodness. They don't prove anything. He didn't even know they were there. But he says they don't prove anything. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey,
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
So I'm just wondering why you support Trump.
Because he is a great American who is taking our country back from these tyrants, among many other things.
So he's a tyrant, though.
No. What makes him a tyrant? He just won a national election. He won all the battleground states. No, he was just elected last year.
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that there was...
Give me an example of his most recent tyrant activities as president in his second term.
Ignoring the Supreme Court.
What did he ignore the Supreme Court on? The Supreme Court has sided with him time and time again.
Well, they didn't side with him when he said they did with whatever that guy's name was.
Whatever that guy's name was, yeah. So what did he do that was being a tyrant? You know, Biden ignored the Supreme Court when he was forgiving the student loans when the court said you can't do that.
No, he didn't.
Was Biden? Yeah, sure. Was Biden? Was Biden? Excuse me. Was Biden a tyrant?
Excuse you. No, he wasn't.
He ignored the Supreme Court on the student loan forgiveness.
When?
The student loan forgiveness.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Why didn't he forgive the loans then? Why didn't he forgive the loans?
No, he forgave a whole bunch of them. He forgave a whole bunch of them. They were doing it in phases. Thanks for the call. I mean, these people are out of their minds. You know, when you're sitting around your little liberal circles and you say Trump's a tyrant, yes, he's a tyrant. Everybody agrees with you. But when you have to, you know, a tyrant is, you know, rounding Americans up and putting them in camps. No, the illegals are not Americans. I'm not talking about South Americans. I'm talking about United States of Americans. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, if the documents don't mean anything, then why are you calling us, telling us they don't mean anything? They just don't mean anything, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. And look, this is gonna be. Tulsi said it on Friday. That wasn't gonna be the last of what she's gonna. And then this isn't going to be the last of what she's going to release. She's got more. I mean, why do you think that Ratcliffe has asked them to put, you know, Comey and Brennan and stuff on indictment lists?
Exactly.
You know, and look, I'm waiting for Clapper, and I'm waiting for Gina.
Well, they're going to be very, very surprised because what's going to be happening. Mike, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I thought I lost you. What's going to be happening is there is going to be an arrest. Who's going to be first? I don't know. But there is going to be an arrest. And, you know, Pam Bondi's under a lot of pressure to give an arrest, but she's working in coordination with the president and Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard on all of this. So, of course, there's going to be arrest.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, we saw what happened with Brennan. Brennan got on, MSNBC and just panicked.
Yeah.
Brennan.
He did. He should be panicked.
Yeah, I mean, and I bet you if they would trot out Comey, he'd do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, they're all panicked. Barack Obama panicked.
Yeah. Absolutely he did. Absolutely he did. Well, Mike, I appreciate the call, man. Take care. All right. You have a good one. All right. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. You know, this Zohan Zorro guy up in New York, he wants to take over the grocery stores and make them government-run grocery stores. Look at this. Local news story in Kansas City where they did just that, right? The government took over the local grocery stores. See, there's no food. Look at this. The shelves are completely bare. This is a city-owned grocery store. This is what happens when the governments own and run grocery stores. Here, let's go on the inside. Look at that. Yeah, see, there you go. That's New York in your future. Now, this here, you know, this intelligence report that came out today that talked about the bizarre conditions of Hillary Clinton, including the tranquilizers and these mood disorders. She displayed a lot of strange behavior on the campaign trail. Remember this one? Look at her. Look at these convulsions. Now, she's not in control of herself there, and she's trying to act like it's some kind of joke, but she has no control over herself. Hold on, I'm going to pull this other. Now, this one here, this is how deep the coup went. So this is a deep stater. She's on MSNBC, and she's talking about the coup against Trump. Now, this is back in 2017. Okay, so that was 2017. Trump's now in office. And what she's bragging about, which is insane, is how the intelligence workers hid all this classified intel that they didn't want President Trump or his staff to know about. That's why it's taken so long to get to these things that Tulsi has just declassified. They hid them away in these very dark, top secret safes all over the place. And you know what's crazy? In 2017, that she's on television bragging about this. She's part of the coup, is what she's doing. Now, if you'd like to support my content, which I give you a lot of, my podcast, the YouTube channel here, radio show, everything, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video here on YouTube. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all of my podcast episodes, Also, you get access to a lot of exclusive content that I post nowhere else. Vlogs, videos, a lot of other content. My wife and I both post there, and we post these things nowhere else except on the Patreon page. You have access to all of that if you're a paid Patreon supporter. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. Plus, they get their name up on the screen, which you can see now. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, some of these people you see in the chat regularly, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. And the direct website address is patreon.com/realbriancraigshow. And again, there's a link in the description of the video that is to my Patreon page. Well, you know, listen, here's what's happening. Justice will be done here. This is very important to President Trump. He knows what he is facing. He knows that if he doesn't bring these people to justice, when he leaves office, whether it's in 28 or 36 or whatever it is, 32, that whenever he leaves office, they're going to come after him for the rest of his life. So he needs to settle this so that he doesn't have to live in fear for the rest of his life, and he doesn't want others to have to go through this. Now, here's the woman who wanted to be president. Is she not drunk here? Watch this. This is Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris, who wants to be the next governor of California. Oh, my goodness. I mean, she's as drunk gets, man. I mean, my God, could you imagine if she had become the president of the United States? What would this country be like if she had become the president of the United States? We'd be in an economic collapse. There's no doubt about that. This Trump hat I'm wearing would be illegal, and we wouldn't be able to wear it. They would have declared MAGA a domestic hate group and a domestic terrorist group. Now, with all of this news that's coming out from Tulsi Gabbard, the journalist you want to follow is John Solomon. He's with Just the News, and he also does a show on Real America's Voice. And I'm not going to play this because I played it this morning, but you want to follow him because John Solomon is the one that the administration is leaking all the information to. And he gets all the information first. He told us the Friday, it'll be 2 weeks ago this Friday, so he told us 10 days ago before we knew about this. He told us that something big was coming, and then here we got it. I think it'll be 2 weeks Friday. So it's been more than, it's been a while. So he told us, he said something big, it's going back 10 years, it's a big lawfare case, going to go to Pam Bondi, and we got it. And he's been the one that's been breaking all the news about this since the story began. And he's giving great analysis. And he's also getting some information that is beyond what Tulsi is releasing. And yesterday on Just the News, he dropped something that Biden's White House counsel, his lawyer, was coordinating with Jack Smith, the prosecutor in the J6 case against President Trump, who broke into Mar-a-Lago. He was coordinating with him. He gave Jack Smith President Trump's presidential cell phone so he could search through them for evidence. And that's illegal, by the way. And now we have him connected to two cases because Fannie Willis's boy-toy boyfriend also went to the White House and met with the White House counsel. John Solomon broke that story last night. I know, isn't that something? That Biden's White House counsel was coordinating, we now know, with Fannie Willis and Jack Smith. Highly illegal. That's part of the coup. That's why the statute of limitations doesn't apply. This is an ongoing crime that's been going on. They never stopped. Another story he dropped last night, he had documents that showed that the CIA director former CIA director was trying to get these other 50 retired intelligence people to sign that memo just so Biden could have. This was Biden's CIA director. When he was CIA director, John Solomon broke this story that Biden's CIA director was pushing to get intelligence agencies to sign off on something so that Biden would have a comeback in the debate. I mean, this is crazy, the stories that are going on. And all of these stories are part of the same coup because remember, Biden was in that original meeting with Obama and Brennan and Comey and Susan Rice and the rest. Don't worry, be patient. There's got to be arrest. President Trump has invested too much in this for there not to be arrest. Don't let the boredom of the media in that press briefing room today, trying to ignore it, make you think nothing's going to happen. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Those of you on hold, hang in there. I'll be live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. as I always am, and you'll be first in line if you stay on hold till then. And again, make sure you subscribe, like the video. Thanks for watching.